for our country, and now we're seeing the contrast, right, from the Trump administration, President Trump, to the most inept, incompetent, and frankly even incoherent administration that one could ever imagine. And it's dangerously embarrassing to see what this last year has brought to the United States, to our allies, to the entire world.
Really, Joe Biden kept bragging about the fact that America is back when he went back on the world stage to talk about it. Yeah, we are back. When you look at everything we're talking about in the news cycle now, Russia and Ukraine, North Korea, all of the things that President Trump had under control. We had peace through strength for 4 years, no new wars. That had never happened before. Within 1 year, nobody really trusts America as a leader anymore.
You know, you're absolutely right. If anything, we're back on our heels. And I will tell you, I do give President Biden and Vice President Harris credit for one thing, which is something that I didn't think was possible. They're actually making President Jimmy Carter look competent, look good, look like a forceful figure of leadership. But other than that, it really has been beyond embarrassing, but dangerously so. I mean, you just went through a whole list of the issues that are, by the way, these are issues caused by the incompetence, the inability of this president, this administration, to basically understand basic principles. Like, you confront the enemies, you don't give them concessions, you help our allies, you don't abandon them. You don't raise taxes on the American people, make it harder for people to come back to work. You don't lock down businesses. It's really basic things. President Trump talks a lot about, and rightfully so, about the southern border. This administration, President Biden and this vice president, and remember, the vice president is the border czar, they literally have given control of the southern border of the United States to the cartels. The individuals, the folks who determine who come in now to the United States across the southern border, are the cartels. It sounds crazy, because it is, but look, we have this administration to thank for this chaos that is overtaking our country and the world because of the incompetence, the frankly just crazy incompetence of this administration.
And it's not just border states like Arizona and Texas. Florida is actually having to suffer the consequences of this. When you think that they're actually flying in these migrants unvetted, settling them in Florida, how is it going, trying to just keep Florida safe at this point?
That's interesting. I've had meetings with law enforcement, and they've told me, local law enforcement, that they've had incidences of folks being dropped off, in essence. With one meeting that I had with some police officers from an area that I represent, they told me that within a small group, they had dozens and dozens of felony arrests, previous felony arrests. And by the way, law enforcement was not notified that these folks were going to be dropped off basically in the middle of the night into the communities with no warning to law enforcement, to the local authorities. Now, I will tell you, I give thanks every single day that I live in Florida, and that we have Governor DeSantis, and that I live in the great free state of Florida. Look at the contrast between Florida and other states. And people are voting with their feet. They're coming in droves to Florida because it's safe, because taxes are low, because we support law enforcement, because we don't have these crazy lockdowns. And so, yeah, I'll take Governor DeSantis over all these kind of radical left-wing governors around the country, not to mention the fact that what is now in the White House is frankly an international embarrassment.
It really is. You don't feel safe anymore, and a lot of people don't feel safe in these blue states. And you're right, the only place really to go for haven right now is red states. But then Biden will try to make those unsafe and call them out as targets. As we approach the midterms and Biden's polling is tanking, do you think any Democrats are going to moderate their behavior, or do you think it's going to get worse simply because they know the American people are going to vote them out?
Unfortunately, the leadership of the Democratic Party has become the Socialist Party of the United States. I mean, that's who they are now. And so I don't see that changing. Now, a little word of warning. I keep hearing about the fact that Republicans are doing well, that the polls are strong. But the election hasn't taken place yet. And so it's going to be crucial because let me tell you, the left isn't going to give up. They're just not going to walk away and say, oh, we've lost the majority, we give up with these socialist policies. They're going to keep fighting. And so it's up to the centrists, the independents and the Republicans and conservatives to turn out in massive numbers in the elections. The election hasn't taken place. We can't take it for granted. We're going to have to win these elections because the left is not just going to roll over. The socialists, look, they know what they want to do. They're pushing hard. They're not going to roll over. So we're going to have to do everything we can to take back this country from those that would turn us into, a socialist nirvana, right? The next Venezuela. Not going to happen if we all turn out.
And President Trump talked about that on the campaign trail. America would never be a socialist country. You didn't realize how quickly the Biden administration would actually move to try to turn us into a communist country. It's unbelievable the speed they're moving at. But Mr. Congressman, thank you for your work in Congress as part of the resistance now, because you really are the face of what saving America looks like. So God bless you and keep us posted.